What up, y'all? Welcome back. It's episode 5, numero cinco. How you say it in German or Russian?
Funf. Funf in German.
However you want to call
FUNF.
it, man. Welcome back. This is episode 5 of the Club WAM Podcast. I'm your host. I was about to say something crazy, but I'm not going to say it. I'm the host, Elijah, aka Eli. Say what up to the people, Ant.
How's it going, people?
Say what up to the people, Brandon.
What down, people?
Yeah, so y'all already know. Free agency is literally around the corner. Um, keep your ear to the streets. We're gonna be the ear on the streets right now. I got Twitter up here. I got it on my phone. So if anything goes on, y'all will know today for sure, for sure. Um, but before we get into that, right? Let's just take the time to give the due diligence. Let's take a shout out for Angel Reese. Give her a
I'll
little
take a
hand
shot for
clap.
Angel Reese.
Woo!
Cooking,
Um,
cooking.
Angel Reese is currently extending her double streak to 10,
That's a
um,
record.
which is a record. So she's breaking molds, breaking trends. Um, so for all of y'all Angel Reese haters, Lil Reese, shout out to you. Anything y'all want to add? Go ahead, Brandon.
I
Anything you
mean,
want to
it's
add to
it's,
that?
it's historic. The only other person that did it was Candace Parker. She had the record, so it's big for Angel Reese for sure.
And
You already know I got to say. There are people watching because of what she doing. Because
Yeah.
Angel Reese killing, because she cooking, because she doing her thing. People watching. They gonna keep watching because it's amazing.
Can we call her? Can we call her Rookie of the Year?
I mean,
I
yeah,
mean,
that's
who
what I
else does
got.
it go
That's
to?
what
I
I
thought
got.
it was
Like I
Cameron
don't see
Brink.
nobody else close.
Yeah, I thought it was Brinks, but she tore her ACL. I mean, no one else
Yeah.
is. I mean, even then, at this point, like the Tank is like breaking a WNBA record your rookie season. I don't know. That should warrant something.
Yeah, for sure.
and just say it. You right, bro. You was right.
Man,
Just
look.
look, stand on business. You talk. Hey, look, you gotta talk
Hey,
filthy
the,
because
the
they
the
be
people
talking
that was
filthy in the
here
top.
know that
Talk
they
filthy.
know, they know. And you can come back and say the same thing, but you gotta
Double
still
down
live
and
with the
let them
fact
know.
that what I said was right. These people watching, people taking notice, because you always take notice of greatness.
Look, and if you got a lot of haters, that means you're doing something right. So never forget,
Facts.
she
Yeah.
Angel Reese 100% clearly has to be doing something right because she got haters.
Hey, shout out to
And
the talent coming in. It's crazy.
Yeah,
yeah,
they
yeah,
whole team actually, like honestly, like the watching like how they play, the way that whole team operate. There's a whole lot of chemistry there. Everybody's like they playing like they trying to win.
I
It's
was
gonna be
saying
tough though, cause hey, you still gotta go through Las Vegas to win anything. So it's gonna be tough.
I was saying before the season even started to some of the people I work around that like they got the exact players they needed in the draft this year, which was like they needed a big because Candace Parker left 2 years ago, and they really needed like an actual center that just wasn't soft inside. We had a lot of shooters as bigs, and like last season there was no wings. They were playing 4 guards at a time, and that just doesn't work. So that's the reason they had that number 3 pick, and they wouldn't draft it exactly what they needed.
Yeah, her and Camila, but they killing on the boards. Well, every game they about 20, 25 boards together every single game.
Mm-hmm. Rebounding wins. Board man gets
more
paid.
men get paid.
Right, board
Yeah,
man gets
more
paid.
men get paid. Speaking of getting paid, that's a perfect way to transition. The off season so far, right? After shout out to the Boston Celtics again for winning the NBA championship, but we in a move on culture, right? We y'all won. Now we on to something else. Now it's all we're all the way on the talk is already about next year. They already have the betting favorites out for next year, which I think the Celtics are the betting favorite to win. Which this is a side note, and then the Knicks are two, which pushed us into our our segment talking about the offseason. Um, Mikal Bridges got traded to the
Knicks.
Knicks for
Everything.
yeah their whole future, which I mean I get we'll see if it matters. Um, Brandon, let's start with you. What do you think about the trade?
I think it's pretty good. I liked the Knicks last year. I thought they were probably the best team that I think they were the team that could have been beat Boston had they not got hurt. But I mean, everybody got hurt by the end, so it's crazy. Wait, is that breaking news? I think Chris Paul got waived.
Yep, Chris Paul has been waived by from the Warriors, which means he is technically a free agent. He joins the free agent pool. Um,
Mm. I know
there
Lakers
is
and the Spurs was looking at him.
there's speculation he will go to the Lakers, the Spurs. Also there was some talk about him going to the Clippers, but they didn't want to trade for him. But now he's a free agent. There's stuff there. What y'all think about that, real quick, or take the time you need?
Now that's your guy, Ant.
Man, look, I just hope wherever CP go, he goes somewhere where he don't got to be the number one guy, because obviously like health and age is starting to catch up. Like he's still that dude on the court. He's still crazy court vision, still a high assist player. So hopefully he can go somewhere where he can kind of be the playmaker off the bench, or even within the starting lineup, the kind of like table setter guy for somebody. Like I could see that working out real well in the Spurs, specifically because the rest of the team, they have a lot of solid defending guys. So having Chris Paul on the floor, specifically with having Wembanyama on the floor and Chris Paul, there's not really, there was no defensive liability happening. It's Wemby on the floor. So it's like it can work a lot of places. Same thing with the Lakers, where they need a guy off the bench to help help setting up Anthony Davis. Austin Reeves and D'Angelo ain't really been able to do that good of a job doing that. So I can definitely see them picking up Chris Paul to help get Anthony Davis going, especially the season he just had. Like he just had a amazing season. Like he played 74, 76 games. Man, still averaged 24 points without really having a table setter like that. Still averaged 24 points, still 12 rebounds, still amazing player. So, hey man, somebody going them two teams need Chris Paul. So we're gonna see what happens.
And if he does go to the Spurs, I mean, like they were just horrible with Wemby out the game. So, they can stagger their minutes a little bit more. Chris Paul's the ultimate table setter. I think it'd be a good move. I mean, I don't know about him because I know he's probably ring chasing. So I mean, we'll see there. It would be interesting for him to go to like a team like the Clippers. I just really like that fit for him there. I don't know how he would come in, but I mean, Chris Paul's due for 12 and 7 every game, regardless. Even if he's out there, it doesn't matter how long.
For sure.
Yeah, all good points. I mean, the reality is, could he come off the bench for the Lakers? Sure. I think that's where he's at in his career now. He's 100% a bench player. Um, could he do good things? I think for me, he might be best on the Clippers solely from the standpoint of like getting them out of the one-on-one ISO offense. Like Chris Paul can actually run like an offense, get people to spots.
Zubac
Doing
could be happy.
Yeah, like even doing some of those same things, thinking about like what Rondo did for the Lakers during the bubble, like just
Hmm.
that IQ, setting the table, setting all that stuff. So I think there's some benefit there. Um, but it's a good topic, good way to pivot. Um, Back to the Knicks real quick. Did y'all have anything to add, Brandon? Did you because you kind of
Oh
pivoted real
yeah,
quick, but that's
yeah.
okay.
We got
That's what we gonna do. That's what kind of day today is going to be.
Yeah.
It's free agency. If we got to pivot, we gonna pivot almost immediately. Do you got anything to add about the Knicks trading for Michael Bridges?
yeah. I mean, it's like I said, it's another one of the Villanova guys. It's he's honestly like
Nova.
he's the perfect Tom Thibodeau guy because he's just gonna like run him into the ground. Like we can see him playing 48 minutes a game for half the season. It's gonna be a real battle between Mikal Bridges, his health, and Tom Thibodeau's will to break down people. So it'd be win the will to win games regardless of if players break down. I 100% see him playing like 40 minutes a game.
And
Yeah, man. Hey, look, I'm hoping he continues the healthy streak for the Knicks, but I definitely see how that's a big pickup. It's like that team healthy. You got Jalen Brunson, you got him, you got Julius Randle. Center thing still up in the air, whether or not they're keeping Mitchell Robinson, whether or not they're going to resign Hardenstein. But I mean, just looking at the core of that, them three, Josh Hart, man, hey, it's gonna be tough. It's definitely gonna be tough to score on them. It's gonna be tough to stop them from scoring on the perimeter. That's gonna be a good perimeter team.
Just put them in championship status now.
I I would say so. Coming out of the East, I would definitely say they're top three, top four teams. So in my book, that would make you a contender because it's definitely like a team I could see coming out of the East. They definitely have the pieces. But I mean, you already know who I got coming out the East every time.
I mean, I think they were already a championship caliber team. This just like solidifies that a little more. They really didn't have to trade too many of their actual players to get this done. So that's really good for them.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, I it's crazy, right? Because I said I felt like Jalen Brunson should have won MVP, right? And then I say that, and I still feel like, does this make them better than Boston? To me, no,
No,
Eh,
no.
no.
They gotta flesh out the rest of
Uh,
that roster first.
Yeah, it ain't even about matching up. Like if they're better, it's better. It's about if they can match up with them.
I mean, they can match up with them in theory, right? Um,
Yeah, depending on who that five
it's just
is.
right. The thing is for me, right? If you match them up, who's better, OG or Jalen Brown?
I mean, Jalen Brown win that regard. You can put Mikhail on Jalen Brown.
Right.
He's
And
still
then
kind of.
but then you got Jason Tatum. Who's better, Jason Tatum or Michael Bridges? Or
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But I just think the Knicks got players that can guard like that dribble drives, the dribble drive pick and pop stuff that they do. So like
yeah.
I want to see it. I want to see the games. I mean, this definitely seems like a Christmas matchup. So I hope that they do that. Like it's Knicks Celtics on Christmas. That'd be an awesome game.
Do the right thing, NBA.
Right.
Make them play like 12 times throughout the season. Might as well, right?
Plus, I mean, honestly, I want to see how Derek White and Drew Holiday handle Jalen Brunson, because like that, bro, that man is he do the right thing every single time when it comes to scoring. He
Yeah.
don't. It don't. I can't say I've seen him take a shot that looked like a bad shot. Like everything just looked like that was the move you was supposed to do in that situation. Like you could tell he worked on his shit.
Yeah. Man, I speaking of like just off-season trades in general, the reason why I'm just thrown off about everything because it just looks like to me the Paul George, he was in the talks of going to the Knicks, and this saga continues, right? Um, he he opts first. It was talks of him getting traded to all these different teams. The Knicks was one of those teams. Instead of them going for OG, they were thinking about trading for Paul George. Then he was going to be traded to Golden State. Then
That
he's
haul was
like,
gonna be crazy.
I'm
Did you
gonna
see
opt
what they
out.
offered?
Yeah. Then he opts out of his contract. Um, mind you, a 48 million dollar contract he opts out of in the efforts to now officially become a free agent so that he can get a 4 year max deal with another team. Um, and let's start with you. How you feel about the Paul George saga and what's going on with Paul
Um,
George?
I think I think the craziest thing about it is how it's affecting so many other players in the offseason, how everybody's literally kind of waiting for the pieces to fall on that, see what the Clippers gonna look like, see what other team he goes to is gonna look like.
Speaking of your
I,
Clippers,
oh Lord.
James Harden signs a 2 year, $70 million deal with the Clippers.
That's not
Okay,
bad.
that's
That's like
good. So they
yeah.
retain their point guard.
I wish that more players just did like a 2 year contract anyway. Because like after like 2 years, they all want to leave anyway. So like after 2 years, you put yourself back in the free agency. It also puts the earnest to yourself to prove your worth consistently instead of like it's like look what happened to Harden last year. He tried to force Philly to give him whatever he wanted, even though he wasn't the player that he was when he got traded there. So yeah, this is good. It's good for the Clippers.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a good. I think one of the main reasons a lot of guys are signing these shorter contracts now is kind of keeping the pressure on teams. because like as we've seen, there's been a lot of guys like to go to teams and like the Detroit situation. They've had Cade for a while, been waiting, and Cade's probably been waiting a very long time to get help. So, I feel like because of situations like that, there's a lot of guys that are signing shorter contracts, and it's kind of keeping the pressure on the office. Like, hey, we want to be competitive, especially with like in James Harden case. It's like he may not be the Houston Rockets James Harden, but he's still a 20 and 10 point guard for your team. So, I mean, that's kind of hard to find. And he's definitely an amazing player, and there's definitely a smart move on the Clippers side of making sure they retain the point guard they need.
Yeah. Why? So you'll see. Here's a little bit of context for both of y'all. I don't know if y'all know, but the NBA has recently signed like a new TV deal, and it's a lot of money, in the billions. So you'll see. I'm anticipating that a lot of players will sign like 2 year deals because in 2 years that's when the contracts like skyrocket.
Oh,
Um, so the 76 billion, right? And that's a lot of money.
yeah.
Yeah. So
What?
yeah, 76 billion. So the thing with let me give you an
Oh my
example.
god.
Yeah. Let me give you an example of how this works, right? Jalen Brunson is eligible this year to sign a 3 year, $156 million deal if he signs at the end of this summer. If he waits until next summer when he is a completely free agent, he can sign a 5 year deal for 270. Or if he makes that's the minimum. If he makes all NBA, if he wins MVP, or if he wins a championship, that goes up to 315. That's
Yeah,
the kind of money we talking about now.
that's where we at now.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's so so I expect that there will be a lot of short-term deals because they're trying to get back into that money. Maybe not so much Paul George because he's in his mid 30s, right? This is probably going to be his last contract. Clay Thompson,
yeah.
this is probably going to be his last contract. But like everybody else that's younger in that 28, 29 range, they're probably going to go with those 2 to 3 year deals so that they can get into that money.
Like De'Aaron Fox might.
Yeah.
I think De'Aaron
So
Fox walks, honestly.
Yeah, bruh, you see, he put the pressure on. He told him he was like he want to wait to resign his extension, see what the roster look like. Put the pressure on him.
he want to see
He
what
like,
that money gonna look like. Don't
yeah, he like
understand.
y'all gonna have me here. Hey, one or the other. Y'all better bring some
Yeah.
help or bring me a bag.
Yeah. So let's get back to the off season, given that context with all that damn money that they talking about. Um, how do y'all feel about Paul George, like getting back to us talking about Paul George? He could go to Philly. Philly could get him, KCP. They already have Maxi and Bede. Where do they stack up if that's the squad with the rest of the East? Where do they fall if that's the squad?
I mean, they're about as good as anybody. A lot of star power. I kind of want to see what the bench is like too, because
Yeah,
a lot of times they get all these like good players and they just kind of
Still got Kelly.
neglect the bench.
Still got Kelly Oubre.
who's good?
Yeah, yeah,
What do you
good
think?
season last year.
And what do you think? You want to add something to that? Can they beat Boston?
Uh,
If that's the five, if that's
if
if
that
that's the core five, can that
they
five beat Boston?
I think that five has a chance. Maxi, I think Maxi, Paul George, Joel, and B in general, those three guys give you a chance to beat them. Just because of what we know Joel Embiid is on both sides of the floor. Just this past season, Paul George had a pretty good season. So even if he was to just be just as good as he was this past
Mhm.
season, him and Tyrese Maxey, that's three All Stars on one team. That yeah, I would say they it maxes up well because I don't see how Boston contains Joel Embiid, and I don't see how they can slow Paul George when your primary, like the primary thing they're gonna have to focus on is Joel Embiid. So it's just like I don't know. That would be a good series for sure. But yeah, that 5 is solid.
What do you think, Brandon?
I mean, yeah, I think they're pretty good. If you have the chance to sign like someone like Paul George, go for it. I don't know if he's with the 4-year contract though. That's the hard part for me because just like that's a lot of money, and then I also think of it from Paul George's perspective. Does he really want to like pack up and move his entire country across, like his entire family across the country to like from like sunny LA to cold Philadelphia, while are also trying to build up his like media career? That's why I still feel like all this is leverage.
So you don't think he's leaving?
I don't think he leaves the West Coast. No, I don't see any reason for him to. It just doesn't make a lot of sense for him. Just for the way his life is set up, I don't see any reason
Yeah.
for it.
I got him going to Orlando. I ain't even gonna lie to you. That's the one I see happening. I see him ending up on that team and it being a really dangerous fit. Him ending up on that Orlando Magic team, especially because just signing them, they don't have to give up anything for him. So we talking about Jalen Suggs, him, Franz, Paolo, Wendell. It's crazy. There ain't too many weaknesses on the floor with that type of 5 if he goes over there.
I could just see
Uh,
Paul George and Embiid taking turns seeing who's going to check out during Game 7.
if Embiid's healthy,
Yeah.
which hopefully, if that's the
Hopefully
team
he
they
can have
run
a
with,
healthy playoffs this year.
yeah, I hope we can finally see a healthy Joel Embiid, in the playoffs. That would be a W. Um, it just seems like the, the Ben Simmons curse continues because if I can recall, that's the last time Joel Embiid was healthy in the playoffs was when Ben Simmons was there,
Mm,
right? So it just seems
yeah.
like ever since I don't ever since look the 76ers organization and Doc Rivers with his dirty Mac Doc Rivers did not handle that right and they've been cursed since.
Dirty Mac and
Uh
Doc.
Dirty Mac Doc.
Dirty
Facts.
Mac and Doc.
Speaking of Ben Simmons, the Nets look like they are finally looking to rebuild and blow up the team. And that includes trading Ben Simmons in his $40 million contract. Um, where do you think Ben Simmons is going to go? And I'll start with you, Ant. Um, and
Mm,
where should he go? Because they might be two different answers. Where do you think he's going to get traded to, and where should he be traded to?
that's a tough one because I think before the Deontay Murray trade, I kind of had him like a team he should get traded to was the Pelicans because I think him and Zion would have been crazy. Like, I would have bet that would have been similar to like the back when Jabari Parker and Giannis first started getting it going, like when those two guys, it would have been something similar to that. It would have been crazy in transition. But I don't know. I would think right now I'm looking probably like Cleveland, Atlanta. I don't see them both like giving to a Eastern Conference team though. So I would have to say looking in the West, mm, the Warriors could use him, especially with them iffy in the air about Paul George. It's looking like Klay Thompson's gonna walk. You know, if you the Warriors, you don't want to end up with nothing. So like I could see Ben Simmons ending up there possibly.
Yeah, I think I think he can get Paul George. I agree. I mean, I think I don't know. I don't know if the Warriors are the team for him just because I don't know if they have the space and everything like that. But it's like I don't think they need a player like him. They already kind of have their like wings and bigs kind of set up. Simmons, he's such a weird fit. Like there was people that were saying Simmons was a good fit for him, and yeah, that'd be crazy. But like, and like he fits well. There was also some Miami buzz, which I really liked. I really like his fit with Miami. I think that I was looking. I don't know if anyone follows, but there's a guy named the Zodiac GM, and he does a lot of like the Zodiac signs and how they work in like a team concept. He was right about that Dame shit. They didn't work well with he didn't work well with the previous coach. And then the Doc Rivers synergy is all as we saw. He was saying that Simmons actually fits well with the Miami core. I just don't think Jimmy Butler doesn't seem like Miami even cares what Jimmy Butler wants. So hopefully they take that move.
And what do you think? I think we lost. Oh no, we good. We good. And what do you think, Ben Simmons? Where should he go, and where will he go? If that's two different answers for you.
Mm,
Yeah, he was.
I
Yeah,
was
there's a little bit for me.
the
he
string
lagging
is
right
lagging.
now.
I'm wired in. I don't know what to do.
With Cornets going back to the Celtics. As the third string big man.
You good? All right. And on you, where should Ben Simmons go, and where will he go? Actually, be traded to.
Hmm. I definitely can see what Brandon was talking about with the Miami Heat thing. Like I can kind of see that working, like the way that
Speaking
team
of the Miami
runs.
Heat, I feel like I cut you off every time.
I know you.
Speaking of the Miami Heat, Kevin Love finalizing a 2-year deal of 8 mil to go back to the Miami Heat after he just opted out of his deal. Um,
Mm.
Quick thoughts.
Money move.
Does
Money
that
move.
factor into the Ben
Move.
Simmons thing? I guess we'll stick with Ant. Does this factor in? Does this change how you feel about Ben Simmons going to the Heat? Um, Go
No,
ahead.
that definitely, yeah, that's definitely a money move. That's definitely them like communicating with a guy, freeing up that money. So it's like, hey, we can bring in a bigger contract, help us get more dubs. Yeah, that's definitely a money move. That's also a good move too, because Kevin Love's still very, very good player off the bench. Like he could play well off the bench for any team, and he does specifically well for Miami. Like he does a great job of helping floor set a little bit, help set the table for a couple of those guys off the bench. Still a great rebounder, still a good solid 3-point shooter.
He's always one of the ones making shots when like there's like those desperate Heat comebacks. Kevin Love's always involved with those.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add, Brandon?
Yeah, I mean, like,
Regarding
Kevin Love
Kevin
fits
Love?
to what they're doing. Well, because they've
Yeah,
always had a big like him off the bench in like this entire run, where it started with Kelly Olynyk. Then they went and got Thomas Bryant, who was supposed to be a scoring big, like a scoring
yeah.
rebounding big off the
That
bench
did not
from him.
work out for them.
I don't get it. I don't. I mean, I've never heard that Thomas Bryant has ever been like that guy. I mean, he's been moved around a bunch, so I assume it's more on him versus like what the Heat were using him for. I mean, all you need you to do is grab boards, go back up with it. Uh that's why I
I
think
feel like
maybe
you
they
can't play
do.
on the Heat. That's an effort thing. Cause I
Yeah,
just
because
don't.
they don't get. They're not gonna fit.
I mean, if you can play basketball, you shouldn't be in a bad fit. Like they, that dude there. I don't
Yeah.
know. A
Um.
lot of teams in the last 2 years.
Um,
Yeah.
we have
Thomas
a
Bryant.
championship.
Speaking of Thomas Bryant, he was on a lot of teams. He had a really good year. Um, and the Lakers before they traded him to the Heat because they figured that he was going to outplay the contract that they had him for. Because he was hitting a lot of threes. But I don't know what happened when he got to Miami. But real quick, moving on. More important, Thomas Bryant, get out the way right now. Klay Thompson has officially decided that he is going to part ways from the Golden State Warriors. So he will not
End of an
be
era.
playing for Golden State. This is the end of an era. Officially, no more Splash Bros. Pause if necessary. Maybe not. I don't know. But the end of the Splash Bros era. Um, it looks like they're going to work on signing trade options for him. Same, I guess it applies. Same thing for Ben Simmons. Where should he go? And where do you think he's going?
Lakers, Magic, uh,
I need one team.
Bulls. Like Klay Thompson can really fit in anywhere that needs someone to catch and shoot threes, and he's very good at that. Suns. I mean, what type of money do we think he's gonna go for? Because I personally wouldn't pay him more than 20 mil a year. He had a very bad. He's Klay Thompson. Like he didn't, and he had like an all right season when they won the title, just for him to be on the floor. So I am curious to see where he goes. I just don't know it's crazy that he's leaving. This is actually like insane that he's leaving. I don't even know. Like this may even be like a Dwayne Wade to Chicago situation where he's gone for like 6 months and it's like, okay, all right, we need him back. And he's like, all right, I need to go back too.
I don't know, man. Like, and it's the fact that Klay Thompson's not going to be in a Golden State Warriors jersey is going to be crazy next year. But I can see him going to the Lakers. You know, that's his dad's old team. Definitely would have a major role there. Definitely want him. Definitely is going to be the guy they look to put up the 3-point shots. I can see that one working out. I can see him working out in Orlando. I feel like the Orlando's probably less likely to happen unless they sign Paul George first. Because it's just like Klay going over there. Klay is, still shot 38% from three last year. Still averaged 18 points a game. Still a very, very good player in the NBA. But he, with Paolo being kind of like a budding star, like, we're waiting to see how good he's going to get. I don't think putting Klay Thompson next to Paolo and Franz and those guys is that as big of a jump that it would make sense for him to go. Now, I can see him going to Dallas. Crazily enough, I can definitely see him going to Dallas, and I can see him having no problem in that system at all.
Yeah, we might see a return. Like if he goes back if he goes to Dallas, that'd be pretty good too. I mean, I like the Orlando fit. I can see him just being like, hey, they got Disneyland. That'd be fun. Klay Thompson's just kind of a goofy guy like that. He's like, I could have a good time there.
Anywhere he can get on his boat. Both of
Yeah,
y'all right
true.
now, give me one team that Klay Thompson will be on that y'all think. Just one. Both of y'all, go. I don't care
Dallas
who go
Mavericks.
first.
I got
Yeah,
Dallas Mavericks.
I'm with him on that. I think the Mavs are a good fit for him.
Okay. Lake Show, baby.
That's why I said Dallas, because I already knew you should say the
Lake
Lakers.
Show. Look, no, I will say this really quick regarding the Lakers. LeBron has always played well with a shooter. So it has blown my mind that the Lakers have not figured that out yet and got him one shooter. I mean, I know they had KCP, but then
I'm like,
pretty
they
much
let him
after
go.
that, after that, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. Anyway,
I can definitely see JJ making some crazy plays for him.
yeah,
I,
yeah,
I
I
think
could,
that
yeah,
JJ
I
and
could
Klay
see,
Thompson would be crazy.
yeah, I can see the pin downs and everything drawn up now. I can see it right now. Speaking of LeBron, he opts out of a $51 million option, 5-1. Um, which before, if y'all know anything about LeBron, he traditionally opts into his contracts and he always takes the max. His stance is usually, hey, y'all figure out the money stuff because y'all not taking short changes to pay us more money. So I'm gonna take the money. That's usually the stance. I respect it. Um, for the first time ever, there are reports that he is opting to take less money to get another borderline star or a good solid player on the team, aka the reports are Klay Thompson. Um, how do y'all feel about LeBron opening this pathway? Brandon, let's start with you. How you feel about that?
I don't think he takes less money. It's LeBron. Uh, he's never taken less money. He's vowed not to take more money. I mean, it's the same thing as always. LeBron's gonna do what LeBron does. He holds all the cards in almost every situation he's in.
As he
He's
should.
definitely
Yeah,
has
rightfully
he
so.
has his hands, fingers, feet, toes. Uh, everything is planted all over the Lakers organization. He got them to draft his son. Like he's not gonna leave after getting them to draft his son. That'd be crazy. That's like the Shabazz Napier thing back in like 2015 when he went back to the Cavs. Just told him all offseason, I love Shabazz Napier. Draft him, and then he just leaves.
Yeah, man.
Man,
I think it's smart. I think it's incredibly smart that he's taking that pay cut because looking at the rest of the West, looking at how the Celtics just won in the East, looking at the teams they have to beat in order for him to possibly get another ring before retirement, him and Anthony Davis and the current cast is not going to get it. And I
Mhm.
think he's very much aware of that, very much understanding of that, very much understanding of the fact of outside of contract you have with the Lakers, my man's a billionaire. So if you want to win again, this might be the one time where you gonna take that pay cut and get some help because it's desperately needed. Specifically with the fact that both of their starting guards are not the best defenders and they're not the best consistent 3-point shooters. So Klay Thompson will be a major upgrade.
Well, how much less do you guys think he's gonna take? Like, I'm like, he has 51 now. What do you guys think he's gonna go down to?
Like
Well, I
40.
think they said it was like 30, like 30, 35, something like that. Because that way they'd
So
be able to fall up under the apron thing, like the
yeah,
second apron, and they would be able to get Klay Thompson. And it
they'll
would
be
like,
able to
it
use the
wouldn't
mid-level
disrupt nothing on
exception,
that. Yeah.
which is
Like
about
that was the
13
plan.
mil. Yeah, so they want LeBron to take a little less so that they can use the full mid-level inception of 13 mil per year, and then LeBron will take the rest. But I'm guessing, right? He's not gonna take 12 mil. He's not gonna do that. That's crazy.
No.
Mhm.
Now,
That's
can I
they
see
still
him
gonna pay him
taking
like
like
30, 40.
yeah, if they now if he take like 35, 40, so that they can get like a Klay Thompson, maybe even trade for another piece. Okay, cool. That makes sense to me. I mean, he's like
Where he getting 30 plus whatever's left over, whoever they sign. That's what's really
yeah,
finna happen.
yeah.
Yeah.
And if this tells me that LeBron he probably got a year or two left in the league and he's done.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, like this tells me that he is trying to do one final push for a championship, and then I think he's done after these next 2 years. I think he's done. So, shout out to him for that. Like, it if it's not Klay Thompson, what do the Lakers do to
Mm.
make a championship run? If it's not Klay,
Yeah, man, they need a lot of stuff. Need a
yeah,
lot.
Uh,
I mean,
I don't
is
think they
there?
need a lot, but
hey, Caleb Martin is available for probably around the same money as Klay Thompson. Not as good as Klay Thompson. Really good role player guy. Really good, like fit anywhere type of guy. Like I could definitely see him playing for the Lakers and helping on both sides of the ball, the defense
yeah,
and offense, because he's definitely a really good 3-point shooter, really good catch and finish guy. Like he doesn't, well, at least in the Miami system, I can't say I've seen him make too many mistakes. They do a good job of like, he really just a role player, guys. Really just the defense
hmm
broke down. Caleb Martin's wide open. He's gonna make the play, and
hmm
the Lakers definitely could use that. So I would have him. Obviously KCP is a possible get him back, but I would say if not Clay, my next guy up for them is somewhere between him and Dorian Finney-Smith. Like one of those two guys, I could see the Lakers going for. Or I think Jeremy Grant. I think that's who it was. That was the other person if they couldn't get Klay Thompson. That was the other big name guy.
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on,
Oh snap!
More
hold
breaking
on.
news.
Oh snap!
It's not set in stone, but I did see an article of someone saying that Paul George is signing with the Philadelphia 76ers. I do not know that that is for sure for a 4-year 212. I don't know if that's I don't know if that's locked, sealed, and stamped, but from the it's a courtside heat insider. So I don't know if this is legit, but this is the first thing that popped up as soon as I refreshed the page. So we will see more on
See,
that. We'll see more on that.
Yeah, if it ain't a
Uh
Woj bomb, I'm not trying to see it.
yeah, if it ain't a Woj bomb, we ain't trying to see it. But
mm,
or Shams. Shams be having the sauce too. Shout out to
his
Shams.
Warriors might go for Levine.
Oh goodness. Speaking of Zach Levine, I guess this is a good pivot point for Zach Levine. Zach Levine officially has absolutely no market.
I told you. Like, what am I supposed? I said it. I said it. You
Right.
Go
gotta
ahead. Go
like it's not
ahead.
you trade
Go
him now.
ahead. Go
You
ahead.
trade if you trade him now, you're not gonna get what you want, which I don't care because I'd rather be bad. I mean, I'd rather just get him off the team and get him off the books. Again, there's Chicago media members out there saying he's out for a big season. I don't know about other people, but I don't want a big season from anybody. What I want is a bad season all around so we can get into the Cooper Flag tank fest.
Sweepstakes.
So I don't want him to come out and average 30 a game. I want him to come out and average 5 a game so that we are not in a position to win most of our games. Like I'm cool with like all the way up into the fourth quarter, just sub him out, get him out. All right, we don't need him. Matter of fact, just get rid of him. Trade him for, I don't know, beans and fucking potatoes. I don't give a shit. Get him out. Like
Well,
it's over with.
they're trying to attach a first round pick to him, and people still do not want him.
So
Wow.
and what did I say? And then people were calling me crazy for saying Zach LaVine is worth all this, that, and the other because he did all this, that, and the other. Zach LaVine has done squat. He's done squat, but play for bad teams, and he's played for one good team ever, and they lost in the first round. So I'm not trying to do it. I'm not trying to hear about what he can fetch. He's no longer 22, and he's not the 22-year-old with high upside that he used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I don't know. I think it's crazy that there's no market for him. I guess I can kind of, I don't know. Like it's weird
Context.
because like there are no like,
Let me
I
give
don't
you
know,
some
because it's like I
context
just
while
don't
you
go like
thinking
if
about it.
it's him in the first round. So like, what are they looking to get from other teams for him? I guess that's my
Here's
question. There,
Probably
it's
a
like, what are
young
they
player
trying to
in
get?
picks.
they want young players and picks most likely, but here's the context, right? Zach LaVine has 3 years left on his deal. This year is the lowest number of his deal. So he goes 43, 46, then 48.
Oh well, yeah, for that much.
So
Well, yeah, now that makes sense. So the
yeah,
Bulls
so
kind of
if
shot themselves in the foot
given
on that one.
given this new NBA tax apron, if you trade for Zach LaVine, you are having to give up pretty much that's superstar money.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah,
So
well, yeah.
Making
Now
too
I
much
can
money.
definitely understand why he don't. Why did they? Never mind.
No, they gave him that contract. No, they matched it. They matched the contract because he got signed by the Kings because the Kings threw a ton of money at him, and then they were like, "No, we got to match that," so they wouldn't re-sign him. But in
yeah,
2022, we had a good season with him and Lonzo and all that. So like, oh yeah, we'll just extend him out because his trade market even back then was not very good. Like they were saying, oh, we could have traded him for Ben Simmons. We could have traded him for this, that. I'm like, you
Well, I
see
mean,
what
he's
we're about
definitely
to
not
get?
worth 40 million a year. Like he's a
yeah.
second, third option guy. Like 40 million a year, in my opinion, is like a 1A guy. Like you're like an all-star starter. Like ah, that's crazy.
Well, yeah.
40?
No, there's zero trade market for Zach LaVine currently. So
Can't waive him either, can they? I mean, that's a lot of
no,
money,
they
but
have 3 years on his deal, so they can't waive him until
Big
2027.
zero.
So essentially he's stuck on the Bulls until until further notice. They could,
so if they want
however,
to tank, they got to get rid of everybody else.
yeah. I mean, this is a good point, right? Because Brandon you have said this before that Zach LaVine puts up good numbers on a bad team, so it could help maybe boost his trade value if they're losing, but he's still putting up crazy numbers. I don't
I just
know.
can't keep watching this. I cannot keep watching this, man. I'm over it. Like he's over it. He didn't even want to play last season, yo. What are we supposed to do here?
That yeah,
The
that's
man's an absolute zero on defense. He doesn't play defense unless there's like something to be had for it. He doesn't his offense is very limited. He's not the ball handler that people think he is. He's not a good passer. He's an all right shooter. He's athletic somewhat. He has had a lot of major knee surgeries. There's a good, like I said, if they could have traded him already, they would have. They couldn't trade him. Now they're having to attach other assets, and then Bulls fans are gonna come out. I was like, why didn't we get more? It's because he's not what you think he is. Just stop acting like it. Like I'm over this. I'm over it.
how big was the contract the Kings gave him?
It was like this is back when like they were trying to find their two guard of the future, and like I thought he would have been a pretty good fit with De'Aaron Fox, just too fast, like motherfuckers in the backcourt.
Yeah, but like, how many
But
years did they put on it? Like, were the Bulls still owe this man 3 years? Like,
Well, they
that's
well,
extended the
yeah,
contract.
they extended
why?
him, and because they were good in
They had that
2022.
that good year when Lonzo,
How long
DeRozan,
did they extend him? You get that nigga a
four
1 year extension.
four
You don't.
years.
It's
It was
like
four
what?
years, bro.
They gave him 4
4 years,
more
man.
years.
They didn't think two would make more sense. Like
Jeez.
four
Hey,
is crazy.
I don't
shout
think
out
he
to
would have
Zach
taken two.
Levine.
They didn't
Yeah.
want to
Hey,
lose it for
shouts out to
nothing.
Zach. Zach, keep getting them checks.
Yo,
They didn't want to
Keep
lose
getting
it
them
for
checks.
nothing.
literally.
They didn't want to they didn't want to lose him nothing. They didn't want to trade him for what they didn't think he was like for less than what they felt like he was worth. Because again, Zach Levine has the reputation of someone who's like this big time player, but he has never done that. So it's like the reputation. I think teams are finally realizing he's kind of a fraud. I Hey, it's like that.
Zach
Fraud.
Levine's a fraud.
Zach Levine is a fraud.
Is
Yes.
he it? Little precursor to a topic we have later. Is he on your fraud team?
There's some big frauds out there.
You
When we
don't
talk
gotta say nothing else. I just wanted to know that much. That's all I wanted to
some
know.
huge frauds out there. Levine is up there. Matter of fact, yeah, I'll spoil it. Yeah, that's my starting two guard on my all fraud team.
That's so funny. Moving on, we have not gotten a Woj bomb in about 13 minutes, which is a really long time. So Twitter is trolling both Woj and Shams right now. Uh, so just
Hilarious.
I don't know. We'll keep y'all updated. We will keep y'all updated as we go along.
Who's gonna win the Brandon Ingram sweepstakes?
Yeah, we got Brandon Ingram. That's up to be traded. We have Clay, Paul George. No, Paul George opted out. I feel like I'm missing somebody. That's
Darren
like
Fox
actually,
is hold off.
yeah. I do think that Clay Thompson is the domino. I think Clay Thompson is the domino. Once
Does the
he
Nets move
decides
Cam Johnson?
where he will be, oh yeah, yeah. I
What
think they're gonna blow that team up entirely.
the wing or the guard?
The guard. I mean,
The
no, the
guard,
wing. Cam
yeah,
Johnson, the four.
No Cam
yeah.
Johnson, not Cam Thomas.
Yeah.
I can see them moving. I can see OKC trying to get him. Maybe giving up some of their like Usman Dieng and other things like they have a lot of players they can give up. They have a lot of assets that they can give up to try to get him. I think he fits exactly either him or Kuzma. That's another domino I think too. Like how good are Washington trying to be like next season, and how good do how good do these teams think these players are, and if they're going to try to hold on to them to see if they can get more assets later in the season. That's been the gamble that I've been seeing over the last couple of years. Is if we can't get what we want out of free agency with them or around in the summer, we're just going to hold them until February and try to do it before the All-Star break, and it just hasn't worked out. I just think these massive like deals where players are moved for all these picks and everything, I think that has a lot to do with it, because teams don't have the same assets to move stuff anymore. If they do, they're moving other people's assets to try to like keep these players.
Mhm.
Like you gotta think like even some of those Knicks picks they gave up, they're not like too great in the early on. They're not like amazing picks, and then even such what are they gonna look like in 4 years? Like it's all like on paper, which is crazy because KD got moved. I think like just like the domino effect from that KD move is that he just around that he has been moved for essentially 9 first round picks. If we count the
That's
four
Yeah,
crazy.
that we count the 4 that the Nets got, and then count the 5 that the Knicks just gave up for him. Yeah, they just got 9 picks for him.
It's crazy.
That's
yeah,
super crazy.
yeah. I want to say where it started, as far as like the haul for like first round picks, was Rudy Gobert, kind of, because I think they gave up 2 1s for him, right? For Rudy Gobert,
Or
4, right?
yeah.
So if you give up 4 first-round picks for Rudy Gobert, that's the floor. So just imagine KD, and then DeJounte Murray got a haul too.
Yeah.
So now, and he got a haul twice. No, that's not true. Because the Laker tax is crazy. But that's a whole nother conversation for another
The
time.
Laker tax.
The Laker tax, bro.
I don't
Y'all
see the
know
Lakers moving 5 picks for a player. I don't think they got that in their
you
system.
don't look. The DeJounte Murray got traded for the same 2 picks that the Lakers were offering him, and they were going to give up Austin Reeves. And
What else did they
sure
get?
I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
but you
Rui was
already
in
know how
that
that
deal.
work. They
The
don't.
Pelicans gave up a bag of chips, a bowl of Skittles, and some moldy cereal and some first-round picks, and they got DeJounte Murray.
Let's look at the trade. Because I
It
don't.
was for
That seems
it
kind of
was for
crazy.
Dyson. It was for Dyson Daniels and Larry
Nah, yeah,
Nance.
they don't. The Lakers ain't got players like Dyson Daniels. Dyson Daniels is people like him. They really
Dyson
don't. People
Daniels.
like Dyson
Hey man,
Daniels, bro.
we ain't gonna act
You
like he
said that
better.
because
We
y'all
not gonna
saying
act
his
like he
name
better than
No,
more
D
ain't
Lo.
nobody
Dyson
doing that.
Daniels.
Dyson, what player of
D Lo.
Dyson Daniels? Who they don't want D'Lo. Oh,
I
the Hawks don't want D'Lo. At
They don't
least
want
with
EJ Liddell
Dyson,
either. Who is
but
EJ Liddell?
he's coming
EJ.
off. Yeah, EJ's good. He was
No, yeah. Hey,
he had his
look,
ACL torn before last season. That's why he didn't play.
EJ
But
gonna be nice.
they don't.
E-
I wanted the Bulls to draft him actually. They
EJ gonna
don't
be
have
nice.
a player like Dyson Daniels. Dyson
I'm
Daniels
about to
is like
lean back into this
he's a
chair so
21
far I'm
year
gonna
old.
sleep.
He's a 21-year-old 6'8" guard. I don't
You
know who
seen EJ
owned
play?
the Lakers. Like
Yes.
and Larry Nance.
Hey,
Like what?
hey.
Great Nance.
Look, you see how the rest of that Pelicans team set up, right? How Herb Jones and you see how the rest of them are, how they got them boys playing with Zion. He fits right with that same type of mold. That 6'8", athletic, solid defender, shoot decently, like not like pretty high IQ player. He fits.
It's
I'm
essentially
saying.
like having a 6'8" version of DeJounte Murray, just not as good.
Let
So
me put it this
again, he's only 22. So or probably actually 21. He's on his third going into his 3rd season.
I guess. Look,
Hey,
if the goal was, hey, let's lose a bunch of games, all right, cool, whatever.
Mm.
But
I mean, they for sure did not.
if
I don't know what the Hawks are doing. They got to figure out a way to improve if they not moving Trey. It just doesn't make sense to keep him and then not improve the team.
I think it's pretty lateral for the Hawks. I don't think they get worse by bringing in these 2 players. They got a bunch of players that fit their system. But
Oh
I
no,
do
they
think
got
Trey's
worse.
moving.
You lost Devontae Murray. You got worse.
I think I've hit
so,
refresh like 30 times to try to see if there's something new.
yeah, I know, bro. I'm trying. Speaking, yeah, we okay. Yeah, let me see. Trying to see if there's anything popping up.
Nicholas Batum won't be a Sixer.
We ain't talking.
Yeah, maybe if my Bucks can get rid of this contract, and hopefully the Bucks get rid of Pat Connaughton contract because we in that second apron situation as well, where it's like before we can bring anything in, we have to shed a contract, and basically the 3 contracts that are in the area that they're looking to shed is Bobby Portis, Brook Lopez, or Pat Connaughton. And I feel like if Bobby Portis and Brook Lopez is going to be moved, that is a before the deadline move. That's not a beginning of the season move.
Yeah,
I feel like
you got to let them play themselves
yeah,
into
like
that.
I feel like we move Pat, we keep Bobby, we keep Brook, we see how the young guys we brought in develop in because we literally have 6 young guys on the roster, like 6 very young players on the roster. So it's like I think the Spurs will take Pat Connaughton. I think we call them, see about that, get rid of that contract, and then from there, see what we can do about signing the Kyle Kuzma, something of that nature, like another scorer. I'm more so looking for them to inquire into playmakers. I feel like we need a bench playmaker very
Go
bad
get Sharif
because
Cooper from free agency.
nah, man, We look
Sharif Cooper.
again, super fan stuff. John Wall said he'll take any role. Vet minimum on John Wall. That's all I'm
I like that.
off the bench. Because we talking about off the bench. We ain't talking about because best case scenario, he John Wall and we start him at the 2, and that nigga's a point attack
Yeah.
defender, and he do a hell of a job.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, he helped the young guys score in bench units. Vet minimum. So I don't know. I'm hoping the Bucks make the right decision because if they look, if Bobby Portis get traded, I am going to lose it. I am going to lose it. I'm gonna be mad at Brook Lee, but if they trade Bobby Portis, I am going to lose it. Because at least if we lose Brook, we could slide Bobby Portis in at the 4. Giannis have to play the 5 till we figure it out. But no.
All right. We gonna call it there. Unfortunately, Woj and Shams are not shamming and Wojing right now. But we will be back. Y'all will see us. When y'all see us, we gonna call it right there. That's episode 5 of the Club WAM Podcast. We gonna sign y'all out right here. Say peace out to the people.
Peace, people.
We gonna
Todos los
see y'all.
dios.
Bye.